everyone, welcome back. We're going to be talking about automating business processes with ChatGPT and other tools. So what I have open right now, it was called make.com. And what this does is it allows you to integrate various sort of text generation tools, different sort of analysis tools, all powered with artificial intelligence, and put them into a streamlined process that really helps you systemize a lot of what you're doing. And something that I want to talk about today is basically how do we manage marketing and sales together so we can take a lot of this rote, repetitive work off of our plates so we can really be much more effective inside of our business or inside of whatever we're doing. And a few of the tasks that ChatGPT really is great at streamlining are data entry, copying and pasting if we need to move data from one place to another very quickly, managing emails, coming up with what we want to say in the email. We looked at this in a past video. And then generating documents and reports, especially at scale. There was somebody I helped out with a problem, and she basically had to copy and paste hundreds of documents into a new format. What we actually ended up doing was using an AI tool to just summarize it and put it all into a Google Sheet. So instead of just kind of kicking around these concepts, I figured I'd just jump in here and show you a really strong use case of how you can use these AI tools for your social media. If you want to learn more about how it can be used for administrative tasks, how you can use it for writing emails and replying to emails, there are other resources out there, but I'm going to show you really something that will change a lot for you. So for the past 6 months maybe, I have been putting content out on my LinkedIn, and I've been needing to write and post every day. What's great is there's a lot of tools out there that allow you to organize your information online, and they integrate to a lot of other technologies. So something that I created for myself is I call it the content machine. This is basically going to be an example of how you can automate your social media generation. So, starting in ChatGPT, something we looked at earlier was come in here and say, I'd like to brainstorm ideas for a cybersecurity bootcamp. And it will come in here and it's just going to give us a couple of ideas on how we can make something really unique for our business. So it gives us advice if we wanted to start a cybersecurity bootcamp. We could do it with a theme. We could sell it based on the target audience. We can have different sorts of games that get people's attention, or we can focus on skills, right? And this could literally give us hundreds of ideas if we kept asking for it. But you see, 10 is too much. Maybe I want to say we're going to provide mentorship instead of a classroom. And so what I've actually done is I've created my own prompts, and we're going to look at what a really solid prompt is now that we're getting more advanced. And so this is a great tool, TextBlaze. It's going to allow you to save a lot of your prompts that you've written before. And so let's just look at this prompt, and we'll see what makes it a really strong one. So this is going to help us create a content matrix to understand how we can get started automating our social media. And we need a plan, right? This goes into what we learned the other day. This helps us recognize how we can create a plan. So it basically says, we're giving it a straight directive. I want you to create content strategy for me. We want to give it a metaphor. We want to really drive home the point that this is the North Star Our content strategy is a document that describes our brand's social media strategy, so it knows what to create content around and what not. We're being very specific, okay? Specific, remember that. We're redefining how important this is to us. It's like a North Star. And we want it to be specific enough to serve as a guiding and a reassuring document with no room for interpretation. The brand I want you to create content strategy for is an online course, an online program that provides mentoring for people to start their career instead of an expensive boot camp. The target audience of the brand is early career professionals in IT and call centers. Please draw out the context. And to create content strategy, I want you to imagine a matrix. And so what this does is it gets very clear on the output. You see here on the x-axis, you're going to have 3 proven content types. Explains what each of the x's is for. It's a beginner-friendly content that provides a quick fix. So it defines the format, and then for each interpretation within that format, for each cell, stage, bullet, it's defining exactly what it wants. It's giving us the definition of what good content is. Sorry, this keeps happening. And then it goes through on the y-axis. You want to have 3 buckets. And then after it gave an example of the format, it goes in here and it gives even more details. It starts broad with what the main task is. It defines what the output is going to be. And then there's a number of bullet points underneath for things to keep in mind. And so what it says is that now that it knows what the format is for each of the 3 content formats, it's going to give us an X and Y axis. After outputting the table, suggest 2 content ideas, and let's see what we get now. Well, this isn't necessarily automated, it's going to get us there, and it's going to show what I'm doing. So you can see here it defines what are our topics: career transition, cost-effective coaching, practical skills, and the types of content of growth, getting people's attention, sharing value, knowledge, and authority, showing why we're the best. And we get something great, your first job in cyber in 60 days. So we have everything we really need here to start generating content. And so when we go back to the content machine and we start to automate this, you see that I have a Notion notebook or a Notion table, and I say when it's going to be posted. Maybe that's going to be posted today. But we talk about, we put in the description. This is what we got from the planning, and then I add some thoughts in my own words. And so this is just a table. You can come in here. We can review other content that has already been created, and we can see that there are these stages, because the way that you can really automate this process of social media content is not only will GPT write the content, but it will recognize which content performs the best and which content to create a video for, which content that you should not promote anymore. And so what happens is when we come into make.com, the way that this works is we can click on these modules and we can connect different sorts of databases. What happens then is we have an API, we have a back-end tool that I like to use that contains our prompts. And then these 2 steps right here in the green, these are just extracting the right information. And then we have our own GPT that generates the prompts based on the back-end request that we made here in the blue. Okay, prompts. And so what happens is we are creating a hook. We are extracting meaningful phrases from what I entered in my own thoughts. It's getting the pieces of my language and my writing that makes it sound uniquely like me, and it's putting those phrases, words, and sentences aside to use later. And then it's writing the long post. And then at the very end, it auto-populates the sheet. So what I'm going to do is, hopefully this runs all the way through. I'm just going to click play. And what it is doing is it's pulling information from Notion. It is making a web request to get the prompts that I have saved somewhere else. Great. And now that we have it running, you can see that it's gone through all these different steps. And there's multiple numbers here showing that it's doing it for multiple posts. So what I can do is I can come back to the content machine, and you see this list is getting shorter and shorter. Why is that happening? Because we can come over here to the review step, and we can see that the content that we had posted, remember it started at the 13th, it now has a hook written and it has a draft written for the content we have. And then what happens is it puts it into a final post. It shares a cell, and they combine the formatting, and we have a complete post here. And so what happens is now we have all of our content written. This looks great. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have about 14 pieces of content here that I really didn't have to write. So what this means now is we can start to use other tools to find ways to automate this. So we can come in here, and what happens is we can look at other automations we have. And specifically for Twitter, I have an automation where we can go in here. This looks familiar, right? We can get information from Notion. We can get the prompts, generate our tweets, and then we can post it using this tool called Buffer on Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. So let me show you what this tool looks like. This is something that I like to use. So what this automating and optimizing your business with AI looks like is it's not just plug something in and it just runs. But actually what it is connecting a whole number of tools that handle one small part of a longer process of a complete system and connecting them together. And traditionally where a person would have to come in and provide their creative input, like with writing the content, what happens now is we can just copy and paste. We can just use AI to do that process for us. So we can literally come in here, and I'm kind of showing you a longer way to do it. Add to queue. Add to queue. Add to queue. And so you see just in a couple of minutes, I have my content scheduled. And what used to take hours, now I can drag and drop and rearrange the dates and the posting time. And I have 3 days of content done already. Okay, so if we can get it to stay in its place. 3 days of content done already. You can do this with videos. You can do this with TikToks. There's really a whole number of tools for us to come in here and automate what we're doing. Hootsuite is another great tool, and Zapier are great for automations. They're all working the same way, where you can take things to the next level as well. And like it shows here in this example, we can have messages auto-replied to. We can have comments made on other people's accounts. So this really is starting to take things to the next level. And I think one more thing that I want to show you about this is how you can go into other tools and you can have automation sent as well. So another great system that we can use to integrate AI into our business is called Go High Level. And what Go High Level does is it's an all-in-one marketing software. What this marketing software does is basically it runs your funnels, it allows you to build websites, but what is really great is the automations that it has available. So we're going to set this up right now, so please be gentle if it doesn't necessarily work the right way. But when we can select a recipe, we're going to start to see that there are options for replying. Okay, let's see if we can find this. There's going to be options for replying to comments. Here we go. Reply to comment automation. And so what happens is instead of just using a template, we can actually use AI to do something for us. So you see here, when a comment, perfect. Post type is a published post. The post is... So this is basically saying anytime somebody comments on a post, respond in a comment. Save action. And so now what's happened is now we're in here and we're using the automated DM Instagram Messenger. Okay, so we can come in here, we can say, hey, I'm excited that you're on your personal freelancing journey. And so what this does is it's using artificial intelligence to detect when exactly somebody is replying to what we're doing. And again, we can follow up again. And so now that we have this published and we have this live, I wonder if I can come in here and comment on my own page. We can go to Instagram and we can see how that works. And I'd love to show you how this works, but this is just a quick brief on this. We'll cover the details more on how you can use artificial intelligence to automate a lot of what you're doing. But you can see these tools like Go High Level, they offer a lot. Not only are you allowed to use their tools to automate and reply to things, but they also have Content AI. What we're allowed to do is actually come into the marketing flow. And what we can do is we can come into Go High Level, select a new post, new title, I want to promote a new offer, and we can select the writing tone and we can select the size of the content. So it's going to come in here and without that automation we did earlier, just provide a couple of really sharp examples using what it thinks is the best version. What we can do is we can copy this, we can put it into what we want, and then really quickly, just by clicking continue, we'll be ready to post this to one of our social accounts. So what we talked about today was a little bit about how we can start to automate our social media using some of these AI tools, which are actually more like AI integrations, and it all starts with getting familiar with ChatGPT and getting your content plan drafted and then finding the right tools. But you're going to find out that just by doing this, you're going to save hours every week. So it's worth testing it out, it's worth experimenting, and I'm looking forward to see you on the next call.